I talk about our company called DjangoCon. It's a company that we do time tracking and site verification online. It's built in Django, and a big part of making that work out is tests and running tests for that. So today I'm gonna show you Pytest and how you can use Pytest in your applications to test them. So just a quick raise of hands. How many here today are running tests for your Django applications today? Oh, that's nice. Pretty much everyone. So how many are already using Pytest or have tried it? Okay, quite a few. It's nice. So this is what I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna give a brief overview of the state of testing in Django, and then I'm gonna introduce you to Pytest. I'm gonna show you how you can use Django and Pytest together, and how to set it up in your project. And I'm also gonna discuss a bit about how you can organize the test suite in different ways. Then I'm gonna give some tips about how you can run your tests faster, which might be nice. And then I'm also going to talk a little bit about the feature in Pytest that's called fixtures. So, testing in Django is built on top of the unittest framework. That's part of the Python standard library. And I guess you're all used to that module and how it works. So you use that, and Django provides some nice tools which makes testing in Django applications easier. So what I'm going to talk about today is other tools that can make that testing experience even better. So Pytest, it's a full feature testing tool that you can use for pretty much any Python application, and it's very flexible. It can handle test suites all the way from very simple and short unit tests to more complex test setup for functional testing and big test suites, and everything in between. And it's used in a lot of different open source projects and closed source projects too. These are some very nice quotes from people in the Django community about Pytest that I find. Might read myself. So, one big feature of Pytest is the plugin system. It is very powerful, and it's easy to extend it with your own plugins. I'm the maintainer of the Pytest Django package, and of course this talk will very much be about that. But there are a lot of other high-quality plugins that I highly recommend to check out if you start using Pytest. There's a list of them there actually, so this book there covers a lot of things in different areas of testing. So one very nice feature of Pytest is that it allows you to write tests that are very Pythonic. It feels more natural, like more natural Python code that you might be used to with unit tests. So to show you exactly what I mean with that, I'm going to show an example. Yeah, we'll see. Just shout if you can't see it. Try to do something about it. So this is a very simple Django application. It has one test that you can run it as usual with the manage.test command, manage.py command. There's one test. So I'm going to change this is a standard Django test case test. I'm going to change it to the Pytest style. So this is what it actually does. It's using the test client to make a request and checking that it's the correct status code, and it checks for the content. That the level is part of the content of the module. So the first thing that I'm going to change is the assertion. So instead of using assert equal, which is used from a unit test, I'm just going to use the built in assert statement in Python. Like that. And we then use the standard equality operator here. So it's a bit easier to read. And then I'm also going to change this line. So it checks that this string is the other string with the in operator. So I'm going to change that too. So, like that. That makes it a bit easier to read. The next thing I'm going to change is I'm going to remove, we no longer actually need to subclass from the test case base class. So I'm going to remove the subclassing and that. So this is like the first problem. Because we use the test client, which is an instance, an attribute on the test class instance itself. So there is another solution for that. Change this to say client. Just like this. So this means that we just added a new argument to the test function. So when Pytest finds this test function, it will look at the argument list and it will notice that, hey, it's an argument, it's called client. And then it will go and look up what does client mean, and it will try to put in the correct object that we expect there. This is what is called fixtures in Pytest. So do not confuse that with fixtures in Django. It's very confusing. They are named the same thing. They are totally different things, but they are named the same thing. So in this instance, client has been defined in the Pytest Django package. So what will happen is it will have the Django test client injected into this test case when it's run. So this is all that's needed to achieve the same functionality as before. So I'm going to close this and I'm going to run the tests. And instead of using the manage.py command, I instead use the py.test command, which will invoke the tests. Just run that and we get slightly different output of the test run. So about these assertions that we did, the reason in the first place that you use the assert equal is that you get a very nice output when the test fails. So it gives you a more detailed explanation than just an exception, which is not very helpful. But you still get that kind of output when you run it with Pytest. So if we make this fail, for instance, just add some garbage here, and we run the tests again, we get a very nice detailed output on what actually went wrong here. So we still get the benefit of the good output on failures, but without having to actually remember all the assert equal, assert equal, assert, yeah, you know, there's lots of them. So I'm just going to change this back to classes. Okay. So this was the before code. This is after. So we change assertions to use the assert statement, the plain assert statement in Python. And I just want to note that Pytest used to do a lot of magic to make this detailed output happen, but that is not true anymore since a couple of years back. So it works perfectly fine, and it has no strange side effects or anything like that. And it has support for a lot of different introspections for different kinds of expressions that you throw at it. And we no longer needed to subclass from test case. We could just put this function there directly, so it's slightly less to type.
And I briefly introduced Pytest fixtures to get dependencies for the test itself. But I will come back to these Pytest fixtures later to go into more detail about how they work, because they are really powerful and can make very good things for your test suites. So let's take a step back and talk about how you actually can get started using this in your own projects. So Pytest Django is the package that provides the integration between Pytest and Django. And it basically takes care of managing the database and gives you some nice test helpers that you can use in Pytest. It's easy to install it. You just click install it as normal, and you also get Pytest automatically if you do this, because it's a dependency of Pytest Django. And you might notice that I used the py.test command instead of manage.py when I invoke the tests. And therefore, you need to put your project on the Python path, because manage.py does that implicitly otherwise. So the easiest way to do that is to install your package in editable mode with pip. And to do that, you run this command, and it will be installed and available. But you need the setup of PyFile for that to work. So this is the minimal setup of PyFile that I could conceive that actually works with installing locally like that. It will very likely not work if you want to put your package on PyPI. Then you need a real file. This will do. So it's very easy to just drop that into a setup of PyFile and it should work. The next thing you need to do is to tell Pytest about which settings module that you intend to use for your tests. And there are a couple of different ways to configure this, but I recommend that you put this in a pytest.ini file and specify it just like this. I also recommend that you use separate settings for your tests. This means that you can, for instance, make use of a faster password hasher and things like that for your tests. It makes things much nicer. But you can also configure this via the environment variables, and you can also pass it as a command line option to Pytest directly. And I want to point out that if you have an existing test suite with like standard Django tests, they will just work because Pytest will recognize them and run them just as normal. So if you are thinking about switching to Pytest, you can just install it and get started right away, and then you can introduce new tests, possibly with the other style, but you can still keep your own tests. So you don't have to, I'm going to switch to Pytest, I'm going to rewrite my 1,000 tests in my test suites, because that's just not going to happen. So I showed you how to run tests with the Pytest command. So that is what you do, to run all your tests at once in the project. But you can also, it's easy to select like a subset of the tests that you actually want to run. To do that, you can just pass the file names of the test files that you want to run. You can also pass a directory here if you would like to run all the tests within a specific directory, and you can just run those tests. You can also match tests by keyword, so this will match the tests by name and only run those tests that matches test group. There are a couple of other ways too to invoke the tests, but these are the most commonly used ones, the ones that you need to know. So, test organization. You can organize your test files in different ways, and Pytest makes it easy to make it in a way that fits your project, and it's very easy to change which test files are collected and how tests are collected and which directories and which files and which functions are considered to actually be tests. So, since that is very easy, it opens up some possibilities on how you can think about the tests and how you can structure them. So by default, it picks up tests in these files. Of course, that can be changed. You just put this in your Pytest init if you like some other naming convention, for instance. Yeah, you can also configure which Python classes that's considered to be tests and things like that. So a layout like this, where you have your tests in the application directories, that's kind of similar to what's used like when you start a new application in Django. This is a good way of doing it for some projects, but if you have a project which has a lot of apps within it, it might be a better idea to put the tests in their own root directory instead. Might make it easier to find your tests. Something I like is to split up my tests in multiple directories. I typically have a unittest directory where the files in that directory map directly to the actual source code files, to the real code. So if I want to find a test for a specific function, I just go to the very same name file, but in the unittest directory. It makes it very easy to find test code that you're looking for. And then I usually have a directory for integration tests, which cover bigger parts of the system. They just name them clearly and group them in a way that makes sense. And then you can also have, for instance, browser tests in another directory. But that's totally up to the kind of project that you're working on. So let's talk a bit about test speed, test run speed. You might have seen this comic, but we're not really compiling anything since we're using Python, so we don't get to have sort fights while we're working. But there's an easy fix for that. Yeah, just have a slow test suite so you can have sort fights all days. So, for those of you who like sword fights, I have some bad news, because I have some things that will make running your tests faster. So, the first thing I want to talk about is reusing the test database between test runs. So, by default, Django, after you run your tests, it destroys your test database. And the next time you run the tests, it will create a new one. That might not be very nice if you have like hundreds of tables in your project. In my project, it takes about 5 seconds to create all the tables. And if I just want to run one single test, which takes like a couple of milliseconds, that's kind of wasteful and a lot of time I have to wait just to run that single test. So what we can do instead is to reuse the database. So instead of destroying it after the test run, we just leave it there. And then for the next test run, if the database already exists, we just connect to it and reuse it. Very easy. The problem, if you use that a lot, you can put this in the configuration file and it will be used all the time. I find that very convenient. However, if you do a lot of model changes to schema, this will not be a good idea since you will run it with your old schema. So you can pass the creative flag when you do model changes to force recreate the database. Force it do not put it in your configuration file in the beginning of your project, maybe while you do a lot of model changes. Yeah, use it when it's appropriate. Another feature that is really nice, since I got my quad-core machine, is to run tests in parallel. It can make for really big speed-ups in the time it takes to actually run the tests. So there is a plugin that's called fixtures. It takes care of distributed testing, so it allows you to run tests in multiple Python processes at the same time, and it manages like distributing the tests to those processes and collecting all the results back at the same pace. It also supports running tests on remote machines, so you can actually distribute tests along other servers if you like to, if you have some very complicated setups. But for the usual, the simple case, you just install fixtures, and then you can just pass -n and the number of processes you want to run simultaneously. So this makes my tests run in 1/4 of the time, basically, which is very nice. And what it's doing is it's actually setting up one test database for each of the processes to make sure that they don't step on each other. Even though the tests themselves are run within transactions, this is necessary to avoid some very weird errors. But that's all handled automatically, so we just run this and it works. So, Pytest Django and databases. Pytest Django takes a little bit of a different approach from the standard Django test runner when it comes to database access. The difference is, in a Django test run, you have access to the database everywhere, all the time. Even if you use subclass simple test case, which does not really support database use, nothing will actually prevent you from accidentally doing database queries, which might lead to very strange results. So here you have to be very explicit about when you are actually going to use the database. And this is the way you do it. You put this decorator on the marker DjangoDB. You tell Pytest that this test needs database access. And it will make sure that the test database exists and it's created if necessary, and that this test runs in a transaction like you're used to with Django test case. But the different thing is, when you don't specify the marker, it will actually fail. And you will get a detailed error message that tells you, hey, you try to access the database, but you're not supposed to. If you want to, put the marker there. So this makes it easy to write like isolated unit tests. I won't go into detail on when you should and shouldn't do that. I think the next talk will cover that more. But you have to be explicit when you want to use the database here. If you have a test file that's full of tests, you can put this in the module level, the Pytest mark. You won't have to type out the decorator on each of your test cases. It's also very convenient to be able to run just tests that does not touch the database, then you can do it like this. So that makes a good like sanity check if you just broke something terribly much, if you like making an import fail or something like that. Then I usually run this, it runs very fast and it gives you a fast head check of what you're doing. So okay, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on Pytest fixtures. So as I showed you before, it's a replacement or more like another approach to set up and tear down of your dependencies for your test or your objects you need when you run the tests. And just to make it clear, it's not the same thing. Django fixtures are these text files with serialized models in them. It's not the same thing, so please don't confuse them. This is what I showed you before. We just added the argument of client to the test and had it Pytest pass it in for us. This fixture was already defined in the Pytest Django package, so I'm going to show how we can actually define fixture by ourselves. So there is a file that you can create in your in the root of your project that's called conf-test. Here you can put fixture definitions that will be available for your entire project. So we're going to do a simple test which uses Selenium and Webdriver to check the simple page. So what we need to do is we write a function, like a factor function for this fixture object. So we create the object that we want to pass to the test later. And in this case, I'm using a variant of the fixture. It's called yield fixture, which means that we can put a yield somewhere in this function, and it will pause there. And then when it's time to tear the object down, it will continue to run. So we create an instance of Firefox WebDriver, and we do yield to pass this object, this instance, to the test itself. And this is when the test will run. And after a while, when the tests are finished running, it will call quit on it to have Firefox closed to me. Okay? What I also put in here is scope equals session. That means that this fixture will be reused for the entire test session. So if I have 10 tests which needs this fixture, they will all share, they will all reuse the same instance. So Firefox won't have to be shut down, restarted, shut down, restarted again between each test, which can be quite time consuming and save a lot of time. But it's easy to change it. If we just type function here instead, it will restart for every time. So it's an easy way just to scope your scope on your dependencies. Okay, so this is what the definition looks like, and the name of the function is the name that we can use later in the test functions. So this is what a test function. So this is what the test looks like. We simply ask for the WebDriver here in the argument list, and we also ask for the live server fixture. This live server fixture is another fixture that's defined in Pytest Django. So this tells Pytest that before this test runs, I need a live server running, and I need an instance of the WebDriver. So the first thing we're doing is we can access. Oh, has everybody used the live server before? You know what that is? Yeah. So basically, the live server is available in Django test cases too. So what it does, it's basically sets up another thread, which is basically an HTTP server where you can access your Django site during the tests. So this means that we can send real HTTP requests to it for an instance from Firefox during the test run. So that is a way to test your site against the real browser. So this will reuse the live server in Django, just make it available for this test. So it will navigate to the root URL, and it will just stop for a bit so that we can actually see what's going on. And then it will look for a H1 element, and it will make sure that the text in that element is correct. Okay? So let's run this test, see what happens. So it starts Firefox, and it's showing the page, and it's done, it's finished. So that's the kind of separation you get with the fixtures. You define them in one place, and you don't need to worry too much about exactly how they are constructed in your tests. You just ask for the things you need for your tests, and then you define them. Yes, so this is what the fixture looks like, and this is the test where we use the fixture, put it in the argument list to have it available in the test. This is a common problem for people that are new to Pytest Django. You might want to create a fixture which creates an object in the database that you later want to access in the test itself. So in order to have that working, you still need to be explicit to say that this fixture needs to access the database. And in order to do that, you cannot use the marker that we used earlier for the test. You have to put DP in the argument list of that fixture itself. So, try to take this slow, but fixtures can depend on other fixtures. So, the database setup is actually a fixture too. So, this means that before this fixture is run, it will have the database available. So that is a common function. So just if you have problems with database in the fixture, just try to remember this. I also just want to point out there's an excellent library that's called Factory Boy, and you shouldn't just create your model objects like that in your tests because it's very hard to maintain. You should rather use Factory Boy. I will not go into details on how it works, but it helps you to create test data in a very structured way without going insane. So that is also something to prefer compared to Django's fixtures. So I just want to mention a couple of other very nice features that the Pytest fixtures has. One is parameterization. So we can say that, for instance, the Webdriver fixture, maybe we want to run the tests in both Firefox and in Chrome. So what we can do is we can parameterize the fixture itself to say, hey, for any time a test asks for the Webdriver, run this test in Firefox and in Chrome. And that is very easy to do, just a couple of lines to add to that fixture, and you will have the double amount of tests which runs in different browsers. So you can configure how you can parameterize your tests by just changing the fixture definition. That is really powerful in different cases when you want to run your tests in different configurations. You don't have to go through and rewrite your entire test suite. You just change the way fixtures works. I also showed the scoping that you can reuse fixtures between tests to have expensive setup reused. That is also very easy to do, so that's a very useful feature. And you can also have auto-use fixtures, which means that you don't explicitly have to ask for them for each test. You can have them run with all of your tests automatically. But that is also useful in some cases. And again, I want to point out that Pytest works directly with your standard test case, test suites. So consider the switch. It's very easy because you don't have to rewrite your entire test suite or throw it away and start from scratch. You can just gradually move over to this style of tests. And it also works, it has pretty good support for nose style tests. If you run a nose today, it should install. I also just want to mention some other talks that is very good if you want to learn more about testing in Django. The first talk is a very good resource for that. It doesn't mention Pytest, but it has some very nice tips for how we deal with testing. And I also recommend that you should learn the talk by Andreas, which is the author of Pytest. He's given a lot of talks about Pytest, so it goes more into detail on Pytest itself. And there's also documentation, of course. So I'd be happy to answer any questions, or just send me an email or tweet to me. And there's also this IRC channel if you have questions about Pytest or Pytest channel. So thank you very much.